こんにちは、さーってじゃあ数日ちょっと経っちゃったんですけどね、前回18日かな、12月。なんで、まあ2、3週間は経って2週間ぐらい経ってしまったんですけど、いろいろありまして、まあなんか三脚つけてるんですけど、スマホ音がなんかぶっ壊れたり、まあいろいろ言い訳はあるんですけどで、経ってしまったんですけど、まあ、最近ですね、僕はそのコーチングをセルフコーチングってやってて、ゴールのアップデートをしたんですよね、最近ね。そしたらなんかもうやる気に満ち溢れててね、なんかはいすごいあるんですよ、自分の中で。でやっぱりコーチングの偉大さ、ゴール設定の大事さっていうのをね、改めて感じたなっていう。だから今日もなんかすごい結構本読んだし、英語の勉強もして、今日なんかね、診断の本とね、なんかイモーショナルインテリジェンス EQ の本、なんかアメリカで前買ったやつと、なんだったかな、あとGoogle 元副社長の英語の勉強法の話読んで、あとなんか人工知能の話の本読んだりして、結構ね。であと英語の勉強もね、ちょっと今あることに向けて勉強してるんですけど、いやー、だからなんかそれでもね、なんか全然疲れずにこんな感じなんでねまあいいっすねって感じでね。時間はいつもと全然違うんですけど、いつもね午前中やってるんで、夜やるのもいいだろうということで、まだ音読をねしていきたいと思うんですけど、今回はパワーイングリッシュの2ですね。前回1確かやったんですけど、今回は2を読んでいきたいと思います。でも途中半分にすると思うんだけどね。これがレッスン10とちょっとあるから、だからこのレッスン5までを今日は音読していきたいと思います。Lesson 1 What day is today? The Islamic calendar starts... No, これパート2だったねパート1こっちですね。There are many different calendars around the world because some people want to use their own calendars to preserve their traditional customs. For example, in Malaysia, people can enjoy 4 different New Year's days. The first one is based on the Western calendar. The second one is the second one on the lunar calendar. The third one on the Hindu calendar. And the fourth one on the Islamic calendar. The Western calendar is the global calendar. The first year of that calendar is the year when Christ was born. In some countries that are not Christian. 久しぶりだからあんま上手くないね。However, their own calendars are more important. 音読もっとしないとダメですね。やっぱね。The Islamic calendar starts in 622 AD. This is when Muhammad moved from Mecca to Medina. His move to Medina is called Hijra. So the Islamic calendar is called the Hijra calendar. Since it is based on lunar movement, a month has 29 or 30 days. There are 12 months in a year and 354 days in a year. A leap year is used for adjustments because the Islamic religious holidays are set according to the Hijra calendar. They fall on different days each year in the Western calendar. This is very complicated. However, local people think it is convenient to use the Hijra calendar in everyday life. Many people in various Asian countries continue to use lunar calendars along with other calendars. Many Chinese people still use the lunar calendar and some current count their age this way. When the Lunar New Year comes around, they add a year to their age. In Korea, celebrations follow the lunar calendar. But because of the many Christians and Buddhists there, the birthdays of Jesus and Buddha are both national holidays. Japan adopted the Western calendar in 1873, but people in some parts of Japan still celebrate the Bon Festival according to Chinese lunar calendar. What day is today? It depends on the religions or culture of that person you ask. Ask だね。最近ね、そういうオーストラリア留学行く前の自分の声聞いてみたんですよ、英語喋ってる時の。そしたらね、俺オーストラリア行く前から結構オーストラリアっぽいっていうか、なんていうのかな、アメリカアクセントとちょっと違うアクセント持ってっかなって思ってたんですけど、友達に言われて、アメリカ人の思ってたんですけど、なんか思ってたよりアメリカっぽい発音してたなって今思ったね。だからストアを俺は留学行く前からストーって言ってたと思ったんだけど、その英語話してるその音声ではちゃんとストアアメリカアクセントで発音できてたんで、俺は今もできないですけど、あんまりそうでもなかったの。なんで今 I mean つってね、なんか思ってたほどオーストラリアアクセント持ってなかったなって感じだった。まあ持ってるはずないんだけどね、そもそもね。Lesson 2 What would you like a cup of tea? A cup of tea もオーストラリア英語だとカッパだよね。Would you like a cuppa? いいですね。What kind of tea do you think of when you hear the word tea? Japanese green tea, English black tea, or Chinese oolong tea? There are many kinds of tea. It is said that more than 1,000 kinds of tea exist in China. For example, oolong tea alone has many types. However, all these kinds of tea come from the same tea tree. They are just made in different ways. If you want to make green tea, steam or roast the leaves soon after you pick them. Fermentation is not necessary. Oolong tea is made through incomplete fermentation, while black tea, often simply called tea, is made through complete fermentation. いや、なんかすごい前までと違ってさ、なんか力こもりすぎだね。前もうちょっと適当にダラッとやってたんだけどね、なんか最初話した通りなんかちょっとね、すごい力が有り余ってるんですよね。When did people begin to drink tea? One story tells us that a Chinese emperor around 2700 BC was the first person to drink tea. The emperor was taking a rest under a tree, and boiling some water to drink. It happened to be a tea tree, and some of the leaves fell into the pot of boiling water. The emperor drank that water and seemed to like it. That is how tea drinking began. The custom of drinking なんか今日すごいかもね。The custom of drinking green tea came from China. Tea drinking in Japan started when Japanese Buddhist monks brought tea from China around the 9th century. In the Edo era, tea became popular with a number of people in Japan. Tea is wonderful for keeping your health in good condition, said Esai, one of the most famous Buddhist monks of the Kamakura era. You may wonder whether it is true or not. It seems that the studies on the effects of green tea agree with Esai. They show that the catechin だよね。なんでキじゃないんだよ、チなんだよね。catechin green tea has an anti-cancer action and a strong effect on influenza. They also report that catechin can catechin can control high blood pressure. In addition, the studies claim that green tea is good for weight control, anti-aging, and healthy teeth. Some doctors say that gargling with green tea is very effective in preventing colds. Now, wouldn't you like a cup of tea? いつも見てくれてる人がね、今見てるのはね、いつもなんか一人いてくださるんですよね。コメントしてほしいですね、いつか。Lesson 3 Okinawa Cultural Crossroads in Japan。コメントしても俺見えないか今。見えんのかわかんないなこれだと。 Okinawa differs in many ways from other parts of Japan. It made up of more than 160 islands. These islands stretch for 1,300 kilometers between the islands of Kyushu and Taiwan, as all the islands are in a subtropical zone. You can enjoy a deep blue sky, emerald green seas, and beautiful coral reefs that can seldom be found elsewhere in Japan. Okinawa is sometimes called the Galapagos of the East because if you are lucky, you can see rare creatures move about, such as the Yamburkuina, Irimotoyama neko, and dugongs. デューだね。デュー。なんでデュー。これややこしいよね。ジュゴンがデューなんでね。デューゴンズ。いつも間違える俺。Since it is close to China and Southeast Asia, Okinawa has had a long trading history with these regions for centuries. The commercial ties have brought great cultural influences to Okinawa as well. Some typical examples can be found in traditional dancing, music, martial arts, architecture, and so on. 早く読みすぎなのかね。ゆっくり読みますね。For example, Shuri Castle is very much like an old Chinese castle. The Okinawan culture has developed under the influence of China, Southeast Asia, and Japan. That is how the culture of Okinawa is called Champuru Bunka, or mixed culture. The most popular home cooking is thus called champuru, because it is a mix of many kinds of food. If Okinawa were not a part of Japan, Japanese culture would be less diverse. Diverse と diverse だね。ややこしいっすね。Okinawa is unique in various ways. So many people like to visit or even move there. However, Okinawa should not be looked at only as an interesting place or a delightful resort. Here's a sad history. Up until the 17th century, Okinawa had been enjoying a peaceful existence as an independent kingdom. From the Edo era to the end of World War II, Okinawa was a part of Japan. Some 200,000 lives were lost in these islands during the war. Furthermore, most of Okinawa's cultural heritage was destroyed. After the war, it became a semi-colonial island of the United States. It was only in 1972 that Okinawa came back to Japan. さっきの人どっか行っちゃったね。嫌になっちゃったかな。Some aspects of Japanese culture originally come from China, Southeast Asia, and even farther down south up through Okinawa. Okinawa is no doubt a multicultural nation. One way to realize this is to visit Okinawa. You can experience the subtropical climate, enjoy the food and drinks, and observe the Okinawan lifestyle. You will certainly find yourself at a cultural crossroads. You will see many cultures mixed there. Lesson 4. A dream to reproduce a real starry sky. この部分俺やったの高校の時やったの覚えてんな。Have you ever used binoculars to look at stars in planetarium? 今変だ。Planetarium だよね。なんか変だったね。In November 2004, one planetarium projector was recognized in Guinness World. いまだにこれ発音できてんのかわかんないね。World。難しいっすね。R と L はな。繋がくっついてるとね。まあいいや。Records as the world's most advanced planetarium projector. The stars are so tiny and precise that by using binoculars, you can enjoy the beautiful sight. The projector was created by a young Japanese man, Ohiro Takayuki. Ohiro became interested in stars when he was in the 4th grade. One day he bought some luminous paint, painted many small pieces of paper, and put them like put them up like stars on the walls of his room. Turning off the lights, he was greatly moved. The bits of paper were shining like stars. He had created a starry sky in his very own room. Since then, he has been building planetary projectors. When he was in high school, なんか変だね、今日の音読ね。He went to Australia. He saw wonderfully beautiful stars there. The Milky Way looked like a real river. It was filled with many tiny stars that could not be seen clearly. Impressed by the great number of stars in the Milky Way, he decided to show the tiny stars by recreating a beautiful sky with a planetary projector. O'Hara entered college in 1988. He spent all his college years completing his planetary projector. To reproduce the many tiny stars, he created an original machine to make small holes which were about 1/5 of a hair's diameter. In 1991, he finally completed his projector. What if planetariums could reproduce 1 million stars? In 1998, at the International Planetarium できて微妙だね発音ね。まあ通じゃいいんすけどね。Planetarium Society Conference in London. O'Hara began his speech with these words. Until then, almost all projectors could only show about 10,000 stars. At the conference, O'Hara introduced his unique planetarium projector, which reproduced 1 million stars. The name of it was Megastar. O'Hara was only 29 years old at the time. It was his first presentation in English. He spoke slowly but clearly. Everyone was surprised to see that great number of stars shown by Megastar, and to know that O'Hara had made it all by himself. After his presentation, the audience applauded wildly. O'Hara is now pursuing further possibilities with Megastar. He is thinking of working with people in the fields of art, music, and digital images. At Expo 2005 Aichi, a message from Tezuka-san was shown against the starry sky created with Megastar 2, which can show 5 million stars. Megastar's sky of stars is exactly like what I saw in space, said Mori Mamoru, who has traveled in space twice. O'Hara always had a dream to reproduce a realistic sky with a planetarium projector, which seemed an impossible dream for one person alone. His success sends us an important message. If you believe in something, you can achieve it. Reading 1, going home. They were going to Florida. There were 6 of them, 3 boys and 3 girls. They got on the bus with sandwiches and wine. They were dreaming of golden beaches as the grey, cold spring of New York vanished behind them. Vingo was on the bus from the beginning. They began to wonder. They began to notice that Vingo never moved. He sat in front of the young people, his dusty face hiding his age, dressed in a plain brown suit that did not fit him. He sat in complete silence. Deep into the night, the bus pulled into a restaurant. Everyone got off the bus except Vingo. The young people began to wonder about him, trying to imagine his life. Perhaps he was a sea captain. Maybe he had run away from his wife. He could be an old soldier going home. When they went back to the bus, one of the girls stopped beside him and introduced herself. "We are going to Florida," the girl said, proudly. "Are you going that far?" "I don't know," Vingo said. I've never been there, she said. I hear it's beautiful. It is, he said quietly. You live there. I was there in the Navy, in Jacksonville. Want some wine, she said. He smiled and took a drink from the bottle. He thanked her and fell again into his silence after a while. She went back to the others as Vingo fell asleep. In the morning they awoke outside another restaurant, and this was time Vingo went in. The girl asked him to join them. He seemed very shy and ordered black coffee and smoked nervously, as the young people talked. When they went back on the bus, the girl sat with Vingo again. After a while, slowly and painfully, he began to tell his story. He had been in jail in New York for the last 4 years, and now he was going home. Are you married? I don't know. You don't know, she said. Well, when I was in jail, I wrote to my wife. I said, Martha, I understand if you can't stay married to me. I said I was going to be away a long time, and that if she couldn't stand it, and if the kids kept asking questions, if it hurt her too much, well, she could just forget me. Get a new guy, she's a wonderful woman, and forget about me. I told her she didn't have to write me or anything. And she didn't. She didn't. Not for 3.5 years. And you're going home now, although you haven't heard anything. Yeah, he said shyly. Well, last week when I was sure I'd leave jail, I wrote her. I told her that if she had a new guy, I understood. But if she didn't, she'd take me back. She should let me know. We used to live in Brunswick, and there's a great big oak tree, just as you come into town. I told her if she'd take me back, she should put a yellow handkerchief on the tree, and I'd get off and come home. If she didn't want me, forget it. No handkerchief, and I'd keep going. Wow, the girl said. Wow. She told the others, and soon all of them were excited, waiting for Brunswick and looking at the pictures Vingo showed them of his wife and 3 children. Now they are 20 miles from Brunswick, and the young people took over the window seats on the right side, waiting for the great oak tree. Vingo stopped looking out. He seemed to be getting ready for a big disappointment. Then it was 10 miles, and then 5, and the bus began very quietly. Then suddenly all of the young people were up out of their seats, screaming, shouting, and crying, doing small dances, shaking fists in triumph. Triumph. これも発音がね、triumph and delight. Vingo sat there amazed, looking at the oak tree. It was covered with yellow handkerchiefs, 20 of them, 30 of them, maybe hundreds. The tree stood like a flag of welcome, blowing in the wind. As the young people shouted, Vingo slowly rose from his seat, holding himself tightly, and made his way to the front of the bus to go home. Yeah. Lesson 5. No free lunch. 結局誰もいなくなるんだよな、毎回ね。Can you imagine the world without the internet? Now you can send a message to a friend in your area or in a foreign country and know that he or she can read it seconds from now. You can look at overseas stores, website and place an order on the spot. You can even visit the British Library, where you can do research for your homework using their online collection of about 150 million items. The internet is very convenient and also entertaining. You can enter a chat room and exchange ideas with people all over the world and play an online game against a foreign opponent. The internet began in the late 1960s. At that time, only 4 computers at 4 different American universities were connected through telephone lines. Email was invented in 1971. The explosion came in the early 1990s, when the World Wide Web was developed. なんかね、しっかりしんと。Making the internet much easier for ordinary people to use. It is estimated that in 1996 there were 20 million internet users worldwide. By 2003, the number of computers connected to the internet stood at about 500 million. In Japan, there were about 62 million internet users in 2003. 最初よりは良くなったんじゃないですかね。このライブの。When 500 million people use something, at least a few of them use it for bad purposes. Some people try to sell goods illegally or to sell fake products over the internet. Evil-minded people enter chat rooms and make contact with young people. Others spread computer viruses. The power of the internet lies in the fact that people can access the internet from almost anywhere, and that it is very fast. But there are also the qualities that help make it dangerous. For example, if someone starts a rumor on the web, it can spread all over the world in seconds, even if it is false. More and more people will be shopping from home or playing virtual games over the internet in the near future. In addition to these online activities, it is also important to have direct experiences. For example, going out to a store and talking with the clerk, going out to the nearest park and playing real sports games. The internet has many benefits, however. You should be aware of the dangers as well. In English, it is often said that there is no such a thing as a free lunch. In other words, everything has problems, even if you can't see them. You cannot see them. The internet is no exception. ということで、レッスン5終わったんで、終わりにしますけど、またライブもやりますし、オーストラリアでね、撮った動画はまだ全然残ってるんでね、編集それもしてね、飽きたいと思います。で、あんまり興味ないんですよね、僕のチャンネル登録してくれる人は。そういうなんかオーストラリアのなんかビーチがどうだよとかさ、街がどうだよってあんま興味ないよね。このチャンネル登録してる人なんか僕がなんつかね、英語はどうだよみたいな喋ってる方が好きですよね。それ不思議だなって思うんですけど、オーストラリアのなんか自然とか街並みがどうっていうのが気にならないのかな。それなんか勉強がどうとかさ、なんか国際共通語としての英語がどうとかさ、なんかそういうなんていうのかな、英語の話の方が好きなんだよね。面白いですね。はい。って感じですね。もっとなんかね、これライブしてるとき人いればいいんですけどね、なんかコメント読みながらもやってみたいんで、昔はね、6月かな、やったときは何人か5人、一番いたとき5人ぐらいいたんだけど、今ではね、なんかそういうコメントでコミュニケーション取りながらのライブをやりたいですね。はい。僕としては。これだって何にもコミュニケーションないと、ただなんか動画撮ってあげるのと違いないからね。こうやりとりがないとさ、まあ動画上げなくていいから楽だけどね。勝手に上がるんでライブだと。まあそんな感じです。またライブやるんで、その時は来てください。では、さよなら。